Welcome back again to my channel. It's your guy Prince TV 05. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, click the notification bell. Anytime I put a video, you'll be the one to be notified first. And also share out my video. Let the information get to everybody, as we all know that information is power. So guys, without wasting much time, I will go straight to the point. Shout out to Ghana president, because he came out to address a very good speech about African being united to build up the economic like other continents. He was explaining in the video that Africans should unite together, that they should build a good economic, that we have a lot of population, we have mineral resources, we have all what it takes to be a continent independent, that we cannot depend on other people, that they don't need help from other people if only Africa come together and unite. So guys, the man was making the speech, the president of Ghana was making the speech. It was very, very much interesting. At least if we should have a president like this in many countries in Africa, Nigeria, Congo, Mali, other countries, if they all come together and be in one speech, I think Africa will be a better place. Nobody will run away from Africa. And then the white people might be looking for we the Africa, because we have the resources, we have all what it takes to make life better. But the problem we have is our leaders. So guys, I said I will bring this video so that you guys will see what the president is talking about, the president of Ghana. I love that man so much. I love him so much. I love him because he hit the nail at the head. He hit the nail at the head. He's a very, very nice man. He's a nice man. So guys, I will play the video for you so that you will see it.
Handouts. We understand the aid fatigue phenomenon. We understand that donor populations want their governments to spend their aid budgets in their own countries. We have learned from long and bitter experience that no matter how generous the charity, we would, and indeed, we have remained poor. I spoke right at the beginning of this conversation about facts and figures on which we can all agree. Ours is a rich continent, has the world's second fastest economic growth rates, the world's fastest growing region for foreign direct investment, and in possession of nearly 30% of the Earth's remaining mineral resources. And yet, the masses of the African peoples remain poor. Let us look for a moment at a country right in the center of the continent, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Can there be, and is there a richer and better endowed country on this planet than the DRC? Every precious mineral that humankind has been known to hanker after is in the DRC. Every mineral required to run the wheels of modern industry is in the DRC. Why is the DRC currently supplying the largest number of people seeking refugee status that arrive in the United States of America? Why is the DRC listed among the poorest nations of the world? This is not right. We need to change the statistics. If we simply ground and sold the cocoa in paste form, instead of selling the cocoa beans, we double our earnings. In much the same way as we would double our earnings from gold if we sold it refined, than its raw state. We are determined to process these products. I do understand that there are nations who have built their industrial complex around the value chain of our raw commodities. It is time to transform that setup. It is time we were responsible for processing our own resources. It is time that we in Africa manage our resources well to generate wealth for our population. The report of the panel, chaired by the highly respected former South African President Thabo Mbeki, on the illicit flow of funds from Africa, raises the lid on many had always suspected but did not have the figures to support. According to the report, Africa is losing annually more than 50 billion United States dollars through illicit financial outflows. The report revealed further that between 2000 and 2008, 252 billion United States dollars, representing 56.2% of the illicit flows of funds from the continent, was from the extractive industries, including mining. Even when we think we're dealing in an area of with a level playing field, like trade, it turns out Africa gets a bad deal. The recent reported events between the government of Tanzania and the mining companies that operate there ought to give all of us cause for pause. For the avoidance of doubt, and just in case there was anyone who was unaware of my personal beliefs and those of my party, the New Patriotic Party, I support and believe in business and in the private sector as the generator of wealth and jobs. But surely, investors and business people give the private sector a bad name if they persist in treating Africa as the place to make extraordinary returns on money. Investors find innovative ways to avoid paying the taxes that they should in the African countries in which they operate. And a recent example in the BBC report showed an example of this in the fishing industry. No one is going to sort out these matters for Africa except Africans themselves. We need to have our own bright and sharp lawyers to keep us abreast with the sharp and bright lawyers that our trade partners have. We need to have our own bright and sharp technologists to help keep us abreast with our competitors. With Africa's population set to reach some 2 billion people in 20 years' time, an African common market presents immense opportunities to bring prosperity to our continent with hard work, enterprise, innovation, and creativity. It is evident that the time for African integration should be now. Hence the importance of the success of the Continental Free Trade Area. A working common continental market has to be a very fundamental objective of all peoples and governments on the continent. Peace and stability on the continent are essential to the viability of the market, and we have to work to establish peace all over our great continent, a Pax Africana that has turned its back on terrorism, conflict, and instability. A new paradigm of leadership is called for. Leaders who are committed to governing their peoples according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties and human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. Leaders who are looking past commodities to position their countries in the global marketplace. Leaders who are determined to free their peoples from a mindset of dependence, aid, charity, and handouts. Leaders who are bent on mobilizing Africa's own immeasurable resources to resolve Africa's problems. Leaders who recognize the connectedness of their peoples and economies to those of their neighbors. This new generation of African leaders should help bring prosperity and dignity to our continent and its long-suffering peoples. We do want to, and we shall work to take Africa to where it deserves to be as a prosperous and dynamic member of the world community. We need to, and we shall move Africa beyond aid. Thank you very much for your attention, and may God bless Mother Africa.